Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming, and today we are back with the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode series, and today this is episode 2. We're going to be racing at the Spanish Grand Prix around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, and yeah, I can't wait to get into it. It was a bit disappointing the first round because we came into the pit and I think our front wing got changed even though we had no damage, and that kind of ruined our race, and we ended up finishing P14 if I'm not wrong. But yeah, we're going to go straight into some practice. Right here you can see I think there's the qualifying pace program during FP2, because FP2 is where the conditions are most alike the conditions in qualifying the race, because it's the same time of day. But yeah, you can see our target was 13th for the qualifying pace program, and this program predicts that we will start 9th. That is actually really good, so that's a really good prediction. I mean, if we do start 9th, that would be wonderful. And then I was thinking of going for another lap and I just spun out there, and yeah, that's how that ended, although we only finished P13 in FP2 even though it said we would qualify 9th, so that's a bit strange there. But I did do a lot of practice programs, and so we gained quite a few resource points, a lot of acclaim for the team, 16%. I think that would bring us to the next acclaim level. Yes, it does, although barely. But yeah, we're ready to head into qualifying. So here we are, ready for our second qualifying session in our career. I'm gonna go straight out on a set of soft tires. I don't think I used any setup here, but I know I did reduce tire pressure because the tire temperatures do get high around here, especially in the front left tire, because the circuit is tough on the front left. But yeah, we're gonna set a banker lap here, and already I can tell it's not gonna be too good because we didn't have the best exit out of turn 2. But yeah, I did struggle during practice. This track is a bit tough, especially this last section. I mean, I'll be very honest, I do not like this last section. I feel like it completely kills off any flow that there was there, and it kills off any overtaking chances, because I mean, it does allow overtaking into turn 1, but it doesn't make it easy. It does make it pretty difficult because you get hit with dirty air through here and dirty air through the final corner, so it sets you back, and I have to cut that curb, otherwise I just hop over it and I lose a lot of time. So yeah, that curb is also pretty annoying, but we do gain a 10th on our second lap, so it's not too bad. But yeah, we're still in P15. It's, yeah, that's just my regular racing line through that section, and it doesn't give me a corner cut either. So yeah, but on the third lap, I went for a third lap in a row, and I couldn't go any faster, so I decided to go on a set of softs. Actually, I don't think that was my third lap in a row. I think that one was on a second set of fresh tires, but it didn't work out so well, and we're in P14 right now. We're pretty far behind, and I'm gonna go for one final run on a fresh set of soft tires. You can see we're just setting up for the final lap. The sun is out, it's not so overcast and cloudy anymore, and yeah, this is going to be a final lap of qualifying, and I'm going to absolutely push like hell, because I feel like we had the chance for a really strong finish in the first race, and we had some great performance, so I want to be able to, you know, at least score points, at least finish P10 in this race, because I feel like we have the potential for points. But you can see in the second sector, we're not exactly gaining time. We were down on our first lap, or on our fastest lap, and you can see coming through the final corner, I just couldn't put it together in the third sector, and yeah, it's just a poor lap, and not that great at qualifying. Pretty disappointing there. But as we proved in Bahrain, we do have better race pace, so hopefully we can use that in the Spanish Grand Prix. Although unfortunately, overtaking opportunities that are not there. Although, what is this? We qualified in P18. We were behind our teammate. We were 2 tenths off, or 1.5 tenths off our teammate, which is hugely disappointing. Not what I expected. I expected around P15, but we qualified P18. we're slower than the Alfa Romeos too, so this is hugely disappointing. I mean, I thought we would have strong race pace. We could maybe, you know, recover from that, but this is way worse than I expected. And also, I think we had to change our control electronics, and we did get a grid penalty for that because the control electronics were too worn and they weren't gonna last the race. I mean, the engine was not gonna last the race. So yeah, so I don't have really high expectations from this race because based on that qualifying performance, I mean, it was disastrous. And yeah, Spain is not, this circuit is not the best for overtaking, and this race is taking a long time to load. Yeah, so unfortunately, the file corrupted for the first half of the race because I record the race in like separate recordings, and we only have the recording from like our first pit stop onwards. So I think from what I remember and from what the rest of the footage kind of shows us, I was running like near the edge, the verge of the top 10. So yeah, we're coming in for the pit stop. I think the tires were super worn and I was losing performance, so I decided to come in 2.0 seconds. That's a really good stop. But yeah, apparently I think we were in like on the verge of the top 10, maybe around P12, P13, somewhere around that. And yeah, I'm not surprised that we didn't get into the top 10 on lap 1. I wasn't exactly surprised because I mean, we had a crazy start at the Bahrain Grand Prix because turn 1 is a huge overtaking opportunity, but here that is not the case. I mean, the circuit, it's really hard to follow another car. It's really hard to overtake. You know, it's more of a balanced circuit. It's less of an overtaking circuit. And yeah, it's great for testing, but in terms of the actual racing, it doesn't usually provide. I mean, last year it did, but that's not always the case, you know. But yeah, we're coming into lap 7. You can see I'm pushing flat out, and some cars have pit, and I'm checking our lap times of the people I was battling. You can see when I came into the pits and got out their way, they definitely gained a lot of time, so I'm really worried that they would get the overcut on me. So yeah, because my lap times, I was pretty slow, I'll be honest, and I was pretty much holding up a train behind me. So yeah, our lap times, I mean, they're not that good, and unfortunately I think we might be victims of the overcut from other cars, because the other cars would probably be faster with me out the way. But yeah, we are up in a P16. This surprised me a bit. That's what got me worried, because you know, yeah, but you can see that we come out in P12 basically, so net P12 after everyone is pitted. Ocon is 1.4 behind us, Tsunoda in P14 around 3.8 seconds, 4 seconds behind us. We're catching up to the Aston Martin and Sebastian Vettel, because remember in F1 2021 they had the pace to go near the top 10, and Vettel spins into the gravel trap, and we're up in a P11 now, and that was so surprising. And yeah, he just got so excited on the throttle, and he went on overtake mode as well. I don't get that, but yeah, this happens with the AI on this game. I've noticed that they just like jump on the throttle, and the safety car is deployed, which that is a little bit surprising considering that Vettel is literally moving, as you can see from the track map. So yeah, why do we have a safety car? That is slightly surprising, but hey, it's good for us because now we have an opportunity to score points. Yes, we are at the edge of the top 10. You can see the safety car is coming in this lap, and I don't care if I'm giving up P9 because I will push Bottas to the limit. You can see we both have a squirmy rear end, and I kind of squeeze him out just as the flag goes green, and we secure P10 in a bit of a crazy move. And you can see Stroll is already 2 seconds ahead, so we sacrificed a lot, but I decided, you know what, this 1 point, it's worth it, because it's the only opportunity we're gonna get, as Yuki Tsunoda out of nowhere goes for the dive bomb into turn 1. I thought he was down P14, which must have been P13, but yeah, Tsunoda he's got Ocon and Bottas, and now he's chasing after me, which is really surprising. But yeah, you can see we're pushing hard. We're using up whatever ERS we had saved from that safety car period. It's lap 11 of 17, and already Tsunoda is making dive bombs into turn 11. You can see he's way more confident with the car, and I'm not confident with this car at all. It is not a grippy car. I tell you, in the first first season of my team, the early races, the car's a nightmare, and around this circuit it just does not suit this car. We're punching above our weight. Even though we're barely in P10, we are punching above our weight, I'm telling you. Because yeah, this car is very difficult to drive. It's very unfortunate. And yeah, this part of the race is so exciting. If I had the footage for the first few laps, I don't know how I would have fit it into the video. But yeah, you can see into turn 1 we had a bit of a gap, and we are, like, you know, able to maintain a bit of a gap, but he catches up with DRS down the straight, and I'm just losing time to Stroll ahead. He's just flying off in the distance. So yeah, I guess this is gonna be you know, defense, I guess, which is something I'm pretty used to, considering how in so many races in F1 2020 my team, all I did was I was just defending, and the stakes are even higher here because it's the opportunity for me to score my first points finish, and I don't want to give this up. I really want to score points here because I feel like we deserve points in that first race, and I want to get redemption. I want that feeling of finally scoring points. And you can see I'm going so conservative into this corner. This is turn 10 if I'm not wrong. So what I do with the AI here is I let them go for the dive bomb, and then I get a better exit, or I squeeze them out, etc. So, you know, I basically let them go for the dive bomb, and then they end up creating problems for themselves. But you can see down the main straight, this is what I'm talking about. DRS is so powerful down this long straight, and I'm just running out of ERS, so this is causing problems. And now, as you can see, my tires are starting to go off as well, so life is really easy, really good right now. But yeah, Tsunoda and Bottas, I mean, seeing those two cars just closing up on me on every straight. You can see again, I just let him go for the dive bomb, and then kind of just, yeah, it's just like baiting him into going for the dive bomb, and then I just go off and create a bit of a gap. But yeah, it's so, like, it's slightly ominous just seeing those two cars just gaining and gaining and gaining. And I'm surprised that Tsunoda is the main driver that's attacking me right now, because Bottas isn't. But you can see Tsunoda is right up in my rear end, and you can see he has DRS, he has ERS probably, and he has the slipstream, and he just goes around the outside. He just flies by. It's like I don't have an engine, and my PlayStation is lagging hard. I have to let Bottas go up the inside, and then I kind of switch back him, but it's a very risky switchback because I end up making contact with him, and I don't have damage. But yeah, I ended up making contact with Bottas. I used up all of my ERS there, and yeah, that was so disappointing. That was probably one of the most painful moments I've ever had on this game, just losing P10 to Tsunoda so easily, and then Bottas just going for the lunge up the inside. I mean, yeah, that was a tricky switchback, but thankfully and surprisingly we're able to, you know, manage it with Bottas for now, because he's going for the move around the outside into turn 1. You can see I kind of squeeze him there, and I take the corner, I take the racing line because I am entitled to it, because I defended that pretty well, because I let him go around the outside, and around the outside at turn 1 at Spain, it's just it's not gonna happen. But yeah, when Tsunoda was overtake me, my PS4 lagged so hard, and yeah, I just couldn't defend. And you can see we get a horrible run through that chicane. It's really tricky now because the tires are absolutely going off. I have no grip right now, and Bottas is just going for another move around the outside into turn 10. I'm braking so late, locking up heavily, which is wearing out the front tires even more. And yeah, it's a penultimate lap of the race, so I'm giving it absolutely everything, and the brakes are going, the tires are just gone, and my motivation is pretty much gone too, because I've lost the points finish. I mean, we need a miracle, and this happened in Azerbaijan in our F1 2020 career mode. We were in P11, and I was so desperate to get points, and then Verstappen had an engine failure. But that's not happening here today as we go into the final lap, and Bottas is about to take P12 from us as well. So yeah, we've lost that too, although we go for a dive bomb down to turn 1. Unlike Tsunoda, Bottas leaves us enough space to go for another mad dive bomb, and yeah, I just went for it. I mean, at that moment I just saw the gap, and as Ayrton Senna said, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver, and the gap existed. I mean, Bottas, he just kept turning in. That kind of, I don't know why he just kept turning in. I mean, you can see in his side, in his mirrors, basically, he can see the red car. He can see me going there. Yeah, you can see, look, it's clearly there. So yeah, and he just turns into the apex. And although it was an ambitious dive bomb, when I was there, he still kept turning. I mean, he can see I'm there, but he takes no avoiding action, just keeps turning. And that contact ended up ruining the race for him because it sent him behind Ocon. And yeah, the AI do this way too often, and it's really annoying because it makes me feel guilty as if I've ruined their race. But really, I mean, I was entitled to that. I mean, I went for the dive bomb. I guess the AI, they have to give up the position by then. But yeah, it was a bit too ambitious. It wasn't as clean as I would have preferred. But yeah, you can see we're defending from Ocon on the final lap, but that was the last overtaking opportunity. You can see we're just pushing flat out here. Sergio Perez wins the race. Yeah, that is just I don't even need to defend this position as much, because I mean, we've lost the points, but still we come across the line after a crazy race. I mean, we don't even have the recordings for the first few laps of the race. But yeah, it was painful. I mean, we got driver of the day, not too bad, but still painful to lose that points position right at the very end.
Spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race.
I mean, a lot of lessons learned from this race. Like, maybe it just wasn't meant to be because our car was not, you know, in a top 10 position in terms of performance. But now I think the commentators are going to say why they thought I was driver of the day.
I have to give it to Maverick. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
The man just said the maximum of my potential is P11. Well, yeah, that was funny. But yeah, now we've got a press interview with Claire. I think this will be a good one because we got driver today and I think we performed well.
Enjoy that. You made it look easy. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
I feel like this is tricky because we didn't have downforce. Our chassis was terrible, and so was the engine. But I'll go for the chassis just to improve the morale.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
I mean, I'll just say it's a great team and a great car. Always put achievements on the team. It's good for acclaim.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
This is a tricky question, and yeah, I'll just say it didn't have enough grip.
Well, that's everything.
I guess for the last question you'd have to be truthful, but yeah, it was a good acclaim boost and good acclaim boost for the team. Are we gonna go up to another level? Yeah, that's 2 levels of acclaim gained this weekend. That's pretty much how the acclaim goes in the early races. But yeah, that's damage deductions, and overall it was a difficult race, but we'll come back stronger at the next race, which is in Canada, I believe. So be sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. This is F1ntastic Gaming.